I am grateful for the ongoing support and mentorship others are providing me. I am hopeful that I can finally understand and describe the barriers I encounter when I visit the dentist. While some have been witness to my sensory processing and integration challenges firsthand, the mutual validation all continue to provide me encourages me to reflect in gratitude at all we have learned, all we continue working on to help me overcome. Imagine my visual sensory domain is like a cup with a line drawn halfway up. A certain amount of visual stimuli is required to get to the line, and for visual input to register at all in my brain. If there is not enough input to get to the line, I miss the visual stimulus. If too much visual stimuli goes in, it will overflow the cup, and my sensory system and I become overwhelmed. In this regard, my visual system is very tiny, like a thimble. It takes very little visual input to overwhelm me. Well, I know visual stimuli easily overwhelm me from my missing important subtle detail, or by being asked to interpret too much visual information simultaneously. These challenges are minor when I reflect upon the challenges touch causes me. Touch is my trickiest sensory domain, and the one that will probably sound most foreign to you as I describe my experiences. I have a decreased ability to localize touch, especially light touch. This is true even with my eyes open, and can be frightening for me. For example, if you are poking in my mouth, I cannot tell where you are touching, what you are poking the inside of my mouth with, or if you are actually poking my mouth in the first place. I often perceive certain textures as painful. The way some people respond to nails on a chalkboard, or squeaking a balloon with shivers down their spine, is analogous to certain textures for me. For example, certain glove finishes or wrinkles will be worse than shivers down my spine. My nervous system will interpret this as pain, as if the glove in my mouth is a sharp knife. My nervous system cannot tell the difference. Blinded by these painful touch challenges, I recently endured a more terrifying experience. One which repeated exposure to similar events is only making worse for me, where the gratitude I share with others who are helping me through these occurrences when I visit the dental clinic. Thanks to a third party and lots of preparing, I was still able to communicate when my sensory environment shut down my ability to function, to accurately comprehend what was going on around me. Not only was I dealing with challenges from too much visual stimulation and touch localization challenges that, in the dental clinic, are a major barrier to my care, I was further overwhelmed when I was inverted and lost all manner of my spatial awareness. Even firm pressure in 3 points of contact was insufficient to reorient me this time. I am learning often this is one of the best ways of helping to ground me in the present moment during my dental care. As I reflect on this experience, when my senses are so overwhelmed I can't function, my working memory also takes a vacation. I realize lost in translation were a pair of strategies that I realize are simple ways of keeping me grounded during my dental appointment. First, have me participate physically in as much of my appointment as is safe. When I cannot trust some of my senses and my working memory is compromised, this modification can compensate wonderfully. Let me help you put your gown and gloves on, and then reciprocate for me. Without words, this tells me where I am, at the dentist, and what part of the appointment we are at, just getting started, and allows us to start using pressure and touch to communicate. Other ways to keep me present and involved as an active participant have been handing me an item before it goes in my mouth, such as the suction, an isolate, or a handpiece. I will hand it back to you as consent that I am ready to proceed. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that, on this day at least, my participation to this point in my appointment had granted me a false reassurance. My carer understood my sensory functionality at the moment. Even with my oral healthcare provider's narration of as much of the appointment as they could, I still became overwhelmed. As I listened, it helped orient me to what part of the appointment we are at, how much longer a procedure will last. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and tell me what you are doing when I cannot trust my sense of touch. While these important strategies bought time for me, I realize available clinical instrumentation and best practices combined to overwhelm me. Even my basic ability to communicate in the situation that shut down my ability to function did not prevent me from enduring trauma. I am still haunted by what seemed like a summary dismissal of a buildup of too much water in my mouth that left me perceiving I may have drowned many times. I'm not sure, as by this point I had lost all situational awareness, despite supportive strategies. Please, can someone help me sort out a couple of things? First, if a system like an isolate is not available, and my care requires I be inverted, what instrumentation and related best practices can prevent me from multiple panic episodes when too much water builds up in my mouth during your caring for me? More importantly, when your isolation system has material properties that are identical to the material properties and surface finish of the gloves you use for my treatment, I am unable to process what is touching me. I am unable to describe the terror fluid buildup in my mouth is causing, as I can't tell if it's the fluid buildup, your isolation system, or your touch I am scared of in the moment. I am now also wondering if the isolation system employed also meant that I was perceiving only 2 points of firm contact rather than 3, even though there were times I thought I could feel your gloved finger on the inside of my cheek. I am not sure now. I am wondering how this could have been different, with a much different gloving solution.